Hello, my name is Alexandru Nucian, and I'm PhD student at the University Ștefan cel Mare of Suceava. In the following, I will present our paper on wearable interaction for user with motor impairments, co-authored with my PhD advisor Radu Daniel Vatavu. Our first contribution is a systematic literature review on wearable interaction for user with motor impairments. Specifically, we conducted a meta-analysis of number of 57 scientific papers that we identified on this topic that discussed smartwatches, fitness trackers, smart glasses, and other devices. These wearables are become relevant as consumers increasingly adapt and integrate them into their lives. Still, research on accessible wearable interaction for people with motor impairments has been scarce. Following our meta-analysis, we compiled an inventory of 92 interactions for smart wearables, consisting of gestures, commands performed with fingers, hands, head, shoulders, and feet, and detected by smartwatches, smart glasses, head-mounted displays, fitness trackers, earsets, headsets, data glues, and armbands. Based on our findings, we draw implications for future research on accessible wearable computing. Specifically, we discuss for direction as part of our WASTE framework, wearable devices, interaction techniques, studies with users with motor impairments, and exposure to other devices and smart environments. To identify relevant papers on wearable interaction, we adopted an operational definition for interactive wearables that must comply with three requirements. First requirement: the device is worn or is integrated into an item that is worn. Second requirement: the device enables direct interaction to control and operate the device itself, or mediate interaction, such as when the device is used to control something else, a computer, a robot, or a virtual world. Third requirement: the device requires is physical movement of a part of the human body to implement the interaction. We conducted our systematic literature review by following a best practice guide and adapting the Prisma statement to report meta-analysis. This figure showed the identification, screening, eligibility, snowballing, and inclusion stage of our study. For instance, our query in scientific database identified 330 references, for which 104 were eliminated during screening, and only 38 compiled with our eligibility criteria. After a snowballing procedure, we arrived at a set of 57 references of interest to analyze in our study. This figure showed the numerical distribution of the papers according to their publication year. Overall, the number of papers is small, but a growing interest can be seen for the topic in the recent years. Milestones for wearable interaction are highlighted on this figure, such as the first wearable for assertive robots or the first examination of smart rings for users with motor impairments. To understand the research contribution made by scientific papers identified in our CLRM, we perform a frequency analysis of the words from their abstracts. Also, to structure the contribution in the area of human-computer interaction, we employ the 7 categories enumerated by Webrock as follows: empirical research, artifact, methodological, theoretical, dataset, survey, and opinion contribution. The most frequent contribution was empirical research in 51 of the 57 papers analyzed in our review, followed by artifact and at a large distance by methodology contributions. We also analyzed the input modalities employed in the scientific literature to implement wearable interactions. These mostly include gestures performed with hand, movements of the hand, eye gaze input, and voice input. Other modalities, such as feet input, face gestures, or movement of shoulders, were less represented. See the figure from the right. We also examining category of wearable devices addressed by the papers identified in our systematic literature review and extract information about the body parts of which they are designed to be worn. For example, a device designed for the head, where is the most common, followed by device worn on the wrist, arm, and hand. Other body parts were less and little represented. This figure showed the number of participants with motor impairments involved in user study reported in literature. Overall, the number of participants is small, with a median of 6 participants per study. A number of 9 papers didn't report user study and didn't involve user in any way, while a number of 18 papers report studies conducted solely with people without motor impairments. Following our meta-analysis, we extract interaction mostly represented by gesture commands from the papers for our literature review. We found many interactions performed with hand gestures, either on surface or in midair. Examples include various of button press, flicks and swipes, but also head posted and movements of the wrist. We also found bimanual interactions such as touching the wrist, palm and fingers of the opposite hand, but also on body input involving other body parts such as touching the neck, chest or thigh. These interactions were implemented using touchpads on the body, smart earbuds, glues, smartwatches, and data glues. Figure illustrates interaction involving other body parts, such as movements of the shoulders, head gestures, and eye-gaze directional gestures extracted from papers that we surveyed. New wearable devices can be seen, such as smart heads, headsets, and airsets, to detect some of these gestures and body movements. Based on our findings, we formulate several research directions to foster more work in design and evaluating interaction for users with motor impairments for a diversity of wearable devices and input modalities adapted to user motor abilities. We structure these directions with our WAYS roadmap for future research regarding wearable devices and prototypes, input modalities and interaction techniques, studies and evaluation involving using with motor impairments and extensions. In our paper, we discussed several opportunities for future work in each category, such as prototyping new wearables, examination of multimodal input, and cross-devices interactions. Thank you for your attention. Please see our paper for more details, results, and discussion of opportunities for future work on accessible wearable interactions.